Hello, everybody. My name is Bill Spada.
Eric Anderson.
And Christine.
Dev Team 6 here. We are here today to talk about our NFT series for the ecosystem. Lots have been kind of talked about, AMAs. I've touched on a few
lot
pieces.
of bits and pieces.
Yeah, little pieces here and there. But we felt it was extremely necessary for us to put together a very comprehensive video that would give you guys a far clearer picture of what exactly is going to happen on the NFT side, especially for the entire ecosystem. We've got a lot of things going with our holder mints, and then we've got, after that, what's next and why and what's it going to do and how's it going to work and all those things. I think we touched on it. We've had many questions in the AMAs. I actually answer those questions, but it doesn't really connect all the dots.
No.
So being able to have the opportunity to give you guys this information is actually very exciting to us, because now we're going to finally reveal the bigger plan that is coming up here over the next, I'd say probably 2 months. The first thing will be the mints, and then after the mints, we'll get into the actual blockchain staking game. But we need to clarify how this is going to work. So that being said, let's get into it. I may be asking Eric or Christine to elaborate on certain parts of it as we continue through the details. Now, what we have here, just so you're wondering, we can't memorize the entire thing because it's a fairly large scope that is here, that is for what we're about to embark on. And being able to provide you guys with everything is super important. We don't want to miss anything, because if we miss something, you might not be able to connect the dots. And this video is very comprehensive and very important that we clarify. That being said, you guys ready?
Yeah.
We're ready.
Let's do it.
All right. So first and foremost, we have holder NFTs. We call them holder NFTs. We used to call them the legacy NFTs, the holder NFTs, the OG NFTs. These are now going to be called, and they are part of a bigger series. So the series that is behind the entire ecosystem NFT project. Now keep what I'm saying in mind. This is for the entire ecosystem. We are going to have a project called, are we ready? Drum roll, please.
Drum roll.
Legacy Friends. So our NFT series on OpenSea will be called Legacy Friends, all one word. It is going to be a community-driven project that has multiple utilities. And to be clear, the gaming side is one of the utilities. It is not all of the utility. There is so much more on the roadmap for Legacy Friends. So the NFTs that will be in there will be 2 sub-series that will be inside of our Legacy Friends. The first series is the Alpha series. The Alpha NFTs are actually the holder NFTs. So when we mint out on Pi, Symbol, Mini Doge, and Moonforce, the holder NFTs are the Alpha NFTs. So let's talk a little bit about that. Okay. So right now for Alpha NFTs, obviously there's so many other utilities, but right now we are looking at, there's 4 different characters on the Alpha side. For Pi, there are the chefs. We anticipate there to be about 3,000 Alpha chefs. On Moonforce, the member badges, we anticipate another 3,000 of those, based on the whitelist and based on what we expect to mint out. On the mini side, the minis, another 3,000. We're expecting to see around 3,000 to 4,000 on the mini side. On the symbol side, the OG bulls, as we call them, we're looking at the possibility of around 2,000 of the bulls, just because there's a little less number of people who qualified when it came to the actual snapshot. So those are the breakdown of the Alpha NFTs. Alpha NFTs will start minting They will start minting as of June 1st, right, Christine?
Yeah, June 1st.
So those of you that don't know who Christine is, little introduction for her, because I think it's important that you guys, because you'll see her in the community. Her and Gilles will probably host some calls, maybe some AMAs around the actual NFTs themselves. But she is the project manager for the NFT projects that are here at Dev Team 6. So she is the one in charge. She's the one driving the ship. She and Ebony, or in other words, Cryptic Titan, they work together. Ebony is essentially her boss. They work together on the scoping. They work together on development phases, as well as working with the developers alongside Eric. He works with the Solidity developer behind the project, and also touches base with Christine and them on the graphics side, the website builds, all the things that go into this project. So that's where Christine's at, and that's why she's sitting in the group with us today. Do you have anything you'd like to say or touch on?
Yeah, I mean, I'm just really excited to get this launched. I know we have our alpha NFTs coming up soon, next week. We're super excited about that. I'm excited to show you guys what we've been working on, and even more excited to get going on the Metatopia staking games.
So June 1st, we're looking at the bulls.
Yes.
The symbol and their holders that qualified will mint the alpha bulls. Those will happen on June 1st. We're looking at June 3rd, I believe, will be our alpha minis. The alpha minis will go on June 3rd. Then I think we fast forward to June 6th, which is when we will be doing our alpha Moonforce badges. Then we will move to June 8th, which will be our alpha chefs. So if you're looking for time frames, you're looking for how that's going to work, those are going to be the days for minting. When minting happens, just so we're clear, we'll open up minting. You'll connect your wallet. You'll be able to mint based on if you're whitelisted or not. And as long as you qualify, you can mint immediately. If you do not mint in 48 hours, the idea, again, is we do need to get a mint open and close the mint, because the NFT side is very, very sensitive to a long drawn out mint is not a good thing for the actual resale value of these NFTs in the future, as well as the attention that a project will get based on what the roadmap looks like, which I'm going to get into the Legacy Friends roadmap a little bit. We're going to touch on it, but we're going to put out a full roadmap next week so you guys can actually see it, get excited about it, and really feel that this is so far more than just the NFT side. This is a collective of sorts of people that will be participating in a community that is really so dedicated to so many things. Utility application, things like that will always be a part of this community, but it is really built around being exclusive to the people that are holders within the space. Let's get into the next piece of this. So then you've got Legacy Friends Alpha, which is the holders. Then you've got Legacy Friends Genesis series. Do you want to walk us through the Genesis series and the different characters, Christine?
Yeah, so we're going to have 12 Genesis characters. First, for our pie market game, we're going to be having the bakers, foodies, and the chefs. Or not the chefs, the managers.
Shop owners.
Sorry, yeah.
Shop owners?
Shop owners?
Yeah.
And their role is that the bakers are going to be able to bake pies to earn Topia token, which is going to be within our Metatopia staking game. And then
now each pie is going to have a different Topia token value.
Yes.
Right?
Yes. So the bakers are going to be baking these pies, and the concept is that the shop owners take a tax on all of the Topia that the bakers earn. And so in order to avoid that, the bakers then hide some of their Topia inside the pies that the foodies buy. And so the foodies can buy a pie, and it'll either be a dud where there's nothing in it, or they can buy a pie that has Topia in it. And then we're also going to be having a very rare type of pie that has a golden ticket inside, and that will allow the foodies to become shop owners and open up their own shop with all their pies.
Now, when you say buy pies, right? Mm-hmm. Are they able to buy pies with Apple token?
Yes, so we're going to definitely look into implementing that. We're going to be able to, you can use your Apple to buy up to 1 pie. Your cherry can buy 5.
And that's per day.
Yes.
Okay.
Your cherry can buy up to 5 pies a day, and your pie can buy up to 10 pies per day.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Okay. So when they buy with pie, apple, or cherry in the pie market,
Yes.
because this is really all under pie market, the game. In pie market, when they buy with apple pie and cherry, are we burning those tokens, the apple, the pie, and the cherry?
Yes.
Okay, so those tokens will burn, which in turn brings a little deflationary
It does.
does.
piece to now apple pie and cherry tokens, which is very exciting.
Very. Yeah.
Very
Yeah,
exciting.
Pie has not been a deflationary token
Never.
in its newest sense.
Never. It was always manual burn. Remember?
Yep.
Remember those days?
I do.
So we would manually burn it. Now, this is going to give people a chance to utilize their pie, not just for staking in the pool to earn Apple and whatever ETH or BNB that they earn, but they can also have an opportunity now to burn a little bit of pie to have a massive benefit of earning
Absolutely.
additional every day. So it's kind of a little bit of a game of risk.
Yeah.
Because remember, you said
There's a dud.
some might be a dud,
Some might be.
You put a dud in there?
Yeah, I did.
but some of them will be very lucrative as well.
Definitely. Yeah.
So the amount of Topia token. Now, keep in mind, we didn't get into Topia token yet. So Topia token is the algorithmic logic that we built. Just to touch on it really quick, it's the algorithmic logic we put in there based on cake. So anybody who understands cake knows you can go look at the white paper. You can understand how much they buy and burn every day. We put the same algo into the tokenomics side of Topia token, which is actually super exciting for me.
It is.
Because it is the first of its kind.
No other NFT project reward token has that.
And I also want to point out one thing. You and I are big on, we want to always match the weights and the ratios. But what I think is so cool, and this is something we haven't really dove into yet, we want to almost, you can't ever guarantee it to be successful, right? But we almost want to give it every runway and possible ahead of it.
Absolutely.
So we actually doubled the weight. So the amount that cake buys back and burns based on its weight and its ratios, we actually doubled those numbers on the algo when we built Topia token. And we believe that that is going to be not only a sustainability, but it is going to allow it to continue to rise.
Absolutely.
Even under all circumstances of earnings for Topia. So anyway, I don't want to take away from your thunder. That is very exciting. I get super pumped up when I think about the idea of you're going to have these chefs, you're going to have these bakers, you're going to have the foodies, then you're going to also have the shop owners. Now, keep in mind, shop owners, how many are there? Maybe 400 or 500?
Yeah,
shop
there's not
owners?
going to be too many, so you're definitely
That's
going
the
to...
third tier NFT.
It is.
So back to your point that the shop owners' role in the pie market game, at least season 1, is going to be where they actually earn a tax
Yes.
of all of the discovered Topia token for the day, essentially. But it's earned in real time.
Yes.
So when someone takes Topia token or earns Topia token, a percentage, 5%, 10%, I think we're wrapping up those values at this point, but let's just pretend it's 10% of all Topia token earned in the pie shops will be divvied up amongst the shop owners.
Exactly. Yeah.
So those shop owners, let's say there's 300-400 of them, that could be gigantic.
They're going to be very valuable.
So those tier 3s are going to be great. The alpha, which are the chefs, they essentially hold the secret recipes that all the bakers and the foodies all are seeking and the shop owners want. So they actually are what keeps the shops relevant.
Yep.
So that's their role. We'll have that conversation and get more details on that later. But the chefs will earn pretty much the alpha version of, they're the tier 4.
Yeah.
So they'll earn more than any of them essentially in the game, almost on a per day basis.
Yeah.
Super
and those are going to be
exciting.
the alpha NFTs for OG holders.
Absolutely. So that's Pi Market,
Right?
Yep.
right? So talk to us about Moon Force
All right.
HQ.
So yeah, Moon Force, we're going to have the cadets, the aliens, and the generals.
Now it's headquarters, right? Moon
Moon Force
headquarters,
HQ.
right?
Yeah. So that one is going to have another 3 characters, the cadets, aliens, and generals. And the cadets' job is that they are going to be fighting off the aliens to protect Metatopia. And by doing so, they receive Topia as a reward. And if they are staked for 2 months, they will be able to upgrade their status to generals. And then when they are first enlisted into the force, they are given a sword. You can burn your sword to get a pistol after 15 days of staking. And then after another 15 days, they can burn their pistol to get a sniper. And as they keep upgrading, it gives them a better chance of defeating the aliens. If you unstake your cadet before those 30 days are up, you go back to the first day basis. And then they lose their pistol or their sniper. They're given a sword again, and they have to start all over. They will also lose their Topia that has been accumulated. And then the generals, they have a special rocket launcher to where they can actually blast the spaceship with the aliens and take a percentage of all the Topia earned by the aliens.
Okay, so the aliens that defeat the cadets,
Yes.
they end up with the Topia that the cadets would have taken. So that Topia is up for grabs for the generals if they take a shot.
Yeah. But the thing is with these cadets, if they have a sword, they're more likely to be beat by the aliens. So the aliens are collecting a bunch of Topia from the cadets if they aren't
Equipped.
Yeah, if they aren't equipped with
If they don't
best
have
stuff.
any firepower.
Yeah, exactly.
Essentially. Now, can they buy sword? Can they upgrade? Can they do anything like that with fuel token or gravity?
Yeah, so the cadets, we're thinking they can use Moon Force to attend night classes and accelerate their role into general much faster than the 30 days. Aliens can use gravity to get closer into the atmosphere to take more Topia. And then the generals can use fuel to actually travel out into space to the alien mothership and steal some of their Topia.
I think maybe
Nice.
we should make it so they can burn like fuel and use it to pass the test to be able to
That'd be cool.
graduate early.
To skip
Yeah.
the test?
Right, or skip the test.
Get the
yeah.
GED?
Skip the test and
Yeah.
immediately get your sword.
That'd be cool.
You know, maybe it's a 5-day, like you got to
Sure.
get to a certain day,
Yeah.
and you're 5 days away from graduation. You get to
We can build that in.
buy with fuel token and
Right.
skip or gravity and skip the test.
Yeah.
That'd be kind of fun.
The cool thing about these scopes is that we can always make changes and make it better for our players.
Well, now this is season 1, so
Right.
let's make sure people understand. Season 1 will last for about 8 weeks.
Yeah.
And then it'll stop. The idea is, and this is season 1 for every one of the different blockchain staking games. So everyone will go about 8 weeks. Season 1 will stop. And then when season 1 stops, the idea is at that time, we'll have already released the online metaverse, which we'll talk about a little bit later, but that is the virtual world where these characters will now come to life essentially in the virtual world, and they'll be able to now roam around Metatopia, do play to earn games all over the place in each one of the segments, and then also earn world token, which is a very highly traded already. It's trading millions of dollars a day on the Ethereum side,
Right.
but they'll earn world tokens for whatever they earn in the play to earn games in the virtual metaverse.
Yep.
So very exciting. So tell us more. I think we can move on to now Mini. Did you finish up on Moonforce HQ?
Yep. We can
Okay.
go over to Mini.
So let's talk a little bit about Doge World.
Yeah. So Doge World, we are going to have dogs, cats, and veterinarians. And in that world, the cats are collecting they're collecting Topia throughout the city. The cats have a special ability to like reach into the crevices and gather a lot more than a dog could find. And they return it to the vets, who, I don't know if we mentioned this yet, but in Metatopia, there's going to be a 5th segment outside of the games that's called the Wastelands. And the Wastelands in Season 1, Series 1, is going to be emitting Gamma-19, which is a virus that's starting to infect some of the worlds. And our veterinarians play a big role in the whole scope of the game. They are creating antidotes and serums that the cats help them by providing the Topia to create those. And so the dogs, they go in and they try to steal the Topia. They have this idea that the Topia is actually what gives the cats their 9 lives.
Those
and
dogs.
So they want to steal it because they want 9 lives. Yeah, and so what happens is, in order to protect the cats and keep getting more and more Topia, the veterinarians give the dogs a tax on all the Topia collected, and that tax is going to be a bone covered in some of the Topia serum. And so that's going to be a small percentage, I believe, like 10% tax is going to be going back to the dogs, but the veterinarians are taking in most of the Topia.
Awesome.
Yeah.
So are they able to use Trick or Treat or Mini to purchase any sort of bonuses or benefits or accelerations or anything?
Yeah, so the dogs will be able to use their Trick to sneak into the vet's office and take more Topia. And then the cats will be able to use Treat to kind of distract the dogs to save themselves and keep themselves from being killed by the dog.
So if they use Treat, they can burn some Treat
Yeah.
to almost guarantee
Yeah.
success.
To guarantee success and a successful break-in to the vet's office.
And then they'll get a big old pile of loot.
Yep.
Very cool. Very cool. So that is going to be a lot of fun. I can't wait to see how many people, how they engage. Now we also have the Alpha Minis.
We do.
So do you have any update on the Alpha Minis and what their role will be in Doge World?
We're still working on that aspect of it, but we got some good ideas that Ebbs and I are working on.
Okay. And just to keep in mind, the Alpha is always tier 4. So you usually start from the bottom and you kind of get to that top tier. Top tier, tier 4, usually is like an all-encompassing, almost like a taxing type thing. So it can tax the total amount of Topia token emitted for Doge World for the day within the system. And then they can obviously, get a big old chunk or a good total sum of it and then split it amongst the Alpha Minis.
Yep.
It's very exciting. So tell us more about Bull Street. Now, I know Bull Street is also its own standalone blockchain game. So talk to us about Bull Street, which obviously lives inside of Metatopia, but you have a whole storyline behind it.
Yeah, so Bull Street, again, also has the 3 characters. We're going to have runners, bulls, and matadors. And so the runners and the bulls are going to participate in the running of the bulls down the streets of Metatopia. And staked runners will win the race if they aren't trampled by a bull. And then the bulls can win the race if they trample at least 20 of the runners. And so that algorithm is going to be constantly changing. It's going to be more of like a betting, gambling game. You don't know who's going to win what race. But if you win as a runner, you'll be given a percentage. It'll be divvied up between all the winners of the race. Same with the bulls. If you trample more than 20 runners, same thing. It'll be divvied up. And then we also are allowing our runners to burn ride, and that will allow them to ride the bulls for 10 seconds to avoid being injured by a bull. And then the bulls can use charge to trample down 5 runners guaranteed. And then the matadors, they will be spectating the race. But if you stake them, that's leading into phase 2. When the longer that your matador is staked, the stronger they'll be for version 2 when they're going to be season 2 when they are fighting the bulls in the arena.
So to be clear though, you don't necessarily have to buy the accelerants and the benefits and all the goodies. It's kind of like buying a game pack in a way. You know, it gives you the opportunity to kind of either circumvent something, avoid something, or provide yourself a guarantee, essentially. You could simply stake, and everything is based on probabilities, right?
Yeah.
So there might be an 80% chance that you will succeed or a 50% chance you'll succeed. And it's almost like flipping a coin, roll of the dice. You know, the smart contract's going to know that there's a 50-50 and it's going to randomize who goes where and what succeeds and what doesn't,
Right.
essentially. But all these extra things you could buy and burn with almost essentially allow you to control the outcome. Not necessarily
Or at least mitigate it.
Not necessarily guarantee it, but it allows you to control more likely or increase the probability of some sort, right?
Yeah.
Awesome. So that being said, guys, this is something she kind of went deep into the Genesis side. I think that is something to give you guys a bigger picture. This will all live in one website. The blockchain staking games will live under Metatopia, which will be on its own website. So regardless of what NFT assets you own, whether you just have alpha or you have a whole bunch of alpha and Genesis assets, you will be able to go through each one of these games and stake the assets in the applicable games. You will also be able to move your alpha assets amongst all the different games. They're the only asset that can roam within the blockchain games inside of Metatopia. None of the Genesis assets, tier 1, tier 2, tier 3, they're dedicated to their blockchain game. So they stay within their game, essentially.
Yeah.
So that being said, back to Legacy Friends and why does it matter? What's so exciting about it? It is truly a community. And the first utility, of course, is going to come very quickly. It is obviously the Metatopia blockchain staking. It's one of its next utilities is obviously going to be the virtual world game to participate in there and earn world token. However, it's so much bigger than that. So holders of any of the Legacy Friends NFTs will be verified on Discord, and once verified, they will have their own exclusive room of holders that will be part of essentially an exclusive group of people that will be working together, talking, networking, making friends, long-term relationships, driving the sentiment into the future as to what is possible when you put great people in one place to collaborate, network, and do awesome things together. So they'll have their own dedicated, exclusive Discord room where holders only will be able to participate. One of our first phase 1 parts of the roadmap on Legacy Friends is doing a pre-mint partnership. So right after the alpha mints happen, we then go into the Genesis. But keep in mind, Genesis mint, and I see this a lot, especially in the community. I see people posting this stuff and thinking this, and I think one of the biggest false senses of understanding inside the communities right now is that they all seem to think that everything that we add or we continue to build upon, the only audience that's going to be paying attention is them. And the only audience that's out there that's going to actually participate is what's in Telegram or what's inside of the Dev Team 6 rooms. But what we're missing here, guys, is on the NFT side, the attention is probably about 10,000-fold what's within our communities today. And really, it's us getting out there and telling the story. One thing we will not do is go out there and market prior to alpha mints. But once the alpha mints are done, we're going to go into like a 2-week AMA, Twitter Spaces, Blitz on the NFT side. All the investors, all the attention within Twitter and Discord, getting into rooms, hopping on, doing AMAs, doing all sorts of stuff to get the word out far and wide about our Genesis mints. The Genesis mints is for legacy friends, and you guys are gonna have a whole lot more friends that are gonna be coming in to see the alpha people. The alpha is gonna have the biggest leg up because everyone's gonna want your alpha holder NFT. They're gonna absolutely want it because it's the alpha. That's right. So it opens up. Our entire group's going to be opened up to a whole nother community. I think you guys are going to be quite shocked how they think and how they see things and how they the amount of attention that can be brought into a project such as what we're doing here long term. The attention that comes in, what they see when they realize, because our story to them is going to be built around the fact that Legacy Friends it's not just a blockchain staking game asset. It's not just an NFT project built around gaming, but it will be able to participate as a parallel universe inside of Metatopia, which hosts the world's first ever token built on 2.0 logic, with logic that is built around the cake and the weighting and really the algorithmic logic that is built into sustainability. There has not been a real token with tokenomics built around play to earn in the NFT space that will be what we're doing, and is built on a Swap 2.0 router. So it's huge, it's gigantic. We will actually be pushing, once we do the Genesis mints, we are probably looking at 2 centralized exchanges in the first month to put Topia token on. We want this far and wide, and we can do that. It is very possible for us to do that. Building the sustainability and the liquidity pool side is critical, but the sustainability when it comes to having it in the centralized exchange is almost irrelevant. I know people will sit there and go, well, wait a minute, that should help. Well, we're not doing any adds to liquidity. We're not doing really any, the buyback is an add to liquidity. Buyback is a pseudo add to liquidity, but we're not doing any marketing wallet. We're not doing any money for development in the Topia token. This is strictly built the exact same way. I'll say it again. It is simply built the exact same way that they built Cake. And the reason it works is the 2.0 router allows us to mimic the same environment. Remember, PancakeSwap takes admin fees from swaps and is able to use a percentage of that, go back and buy back Cake every day and burn it. We know how much they emit. We take the ratio, we put it in, we put the logic in the tokenomics, and the rest is history on Topia. So we're very excited about that. There are other pieces on the roadmap, which we will get into a little bit later. I want to roll out Legacy Friends roadmap. We'll probably roll it out next week before we start the mints, because it's important that people know what's coming with Legacy Friends. We will be doing all sorts of cool. There will be a lot of IRL events. We'll be doing stuff where we'll have meetups in different cities. We'll pick a couple cities around the country where we'll host these meetups. We will also be doing a conference for NFT/Web3 that will be coming, and we'll have more information on that soon as well. So Legacy Friends is so much bigger than what we're doing on the NFT side.
Absolutely.
So we'll get deeper into the roadmap, deeper into what we're doing and how that's going to work. Finding a way for us to kind of help you understand why does it matter. So and I'll just give you a preview of one of the utilities, or I guess benefits of being a legacy holder, a Legacy Friends holder, is that you're going to own the IP. The IP of each one of those NFTs, the actual design, the actual NFT itself, you'll have the IP rights. So you can do whatever you want with yours. You can go make a t-shirt, you can go make hats, you can make merchandise, you can do whatever you want. There will be special access versions that are in there. So they're still stakeable in the game side, but they're going to have utility inside them. They may have things locked up in them. We're going to be doing a lot of really cool stuff that I think you guys are going to get excited about. But I'm going to do this kind of as a separate, because I think it's owed its full due when it comes to explaining the roadmap for legacy friends. And those of you that are on the NFT side or even know anything about the NFT side, you'll understand immediately what we're doing and why we're doing it. You'll know that this is where the attention is in the NFT space. So having the two being legacy friends is the NFT piece, so that's the actual assets, and then Metatopia is actually built for two reasons. The Metatopia side, the universe of Metatopia, is being built for two reasons. One, to support legacy friends and bring all the projects from legacy friends into one place to have blockchain staking games. But keep in mind, Metatopia is open to any project. So in season 2, we essentially could actually allow the Bored Apes to come in and take over Metatopia. You know, where it's an ape, it's literally an ape invasion. Yeah. It's an ape invasion, season 2, Metatopia, the apes invade, right? And now Bored Ape holders are able to stake their Bored Apes to earn Topia token inside of Metatopia. It could be done with Moonbirds. It could be done with anybody. It doesn't matter what project. And back to
someone that just launches off Moonforce.
Back to Moonforce, exactly. You went there before I did. Back to Moonforce. You know, it could simply just be a project that just launched a BSC project or an ETH project on Moonforce. And now they had already worked out with us that they were going to have their NFT project ready, have staking immediately into a blockchain staking game that is a new segment and part of a new season of Metatopia.
Right.
And it opens up the door for them to actually provide immediate utility to their holders, brings them into the community. Now those people are now possibly going to participate and meet a lot of the people. So we're building this monster community around Metatopia as well.
Right.
So lots of exciting things going on there. Did we want to get into any of the other pieces, Christine? Did you have any? The Pi Wild one, I know that was something that people talked about, being able to burn those for a Genesis mint. We talked about that. We also talked about there will be a certain percentage of the Genesis mint that will be using Apple, Cherry, and or Fuel and Gravity or Trick or Treat. We'll make it so that every actual reward token is applicable to the first Genesis mint. There will be a small percentage of the Genesis mint that will be using and burning those pieces. So we'll dedicate
any reward token that's used to interact with the game or to purchase game pieces will be burned.
Always burned. Yeah. The team will never take those tokens. Those tokens need to be used for deflationary purposes and continuing to rebase, essentially. Those of you that understand, so there's a lot of people that don't really, and I guess I'm just talking about this because I had somebody bring this up to me last week. And they said, hey, tell me something. Why don't we do a rebase token? And this wasn't about that. This was a holder suggested this at one point. This might have been 2 weeks ago. They said, why not make Apple or Cherry or any of these reward tokens a rebase? So that way it essentially gets pegged to the dollar or pegged to a certain dollar amount, or it just continues to rebase itself to its trend line. The reason that's not the case is it's very difficult to be able to really get people to get their heads around a rebase token. Rebase token is, for example, let's say there's 100,000 outstanding supply, and somebody sells 10%, or it sells a big bag, and the price drops 10%. What it is built to do with the contract logic is actually adjust the total supply to match to what they sold, so that the price, essentially the market cap, is within reach of where it was prior to the sale, which obviously causes the price to rebase and not have the significant hit of 10%.
Right.
But if I owned 1,000 in my wallet before the sale, now I might only own 900. So it automatically changes the values for everybody,
Right.
Which becomes very complicated.
Super
So
complicated.
what's neat about deflationary and what's neat about what we're doing here, I don't know any of you that have actually played blockchain staking games with NFTs and where there's tokens involved and you could buy and burn and you could utilize those for accelerants or more so lower your risk and things like that within the game. When you're doing that, essentially, you're going to be burning these tokens at a high rate. And I've actually seen it. I don't know about you guys. I know we've done a tremendous amount of research on these. But I watched one of these games last year, end of last year into this year, and I got to tell you, it blew my mind. I've heard people make the comment shortage of supply. I've heard it. I've heard it so many times in the space, and it usually never becomes a thing. It does, but it doesn't, and it never really plays out that way, and you don't really see a significant, noticeable, time where it becomes a thing. But I've actually witnessed now how utilizing assets within the game for burning purposes does create, because when the drive and passion to succeed in the game becomes a badge of honor, especially if you hit a certain level and now you can mint essentially the next level NFT that is rare, super rare, or it's legendary,
Right.
and people don't have access. There's only 20 of them, period, in the whole series. Be able to get to these levels or get to these accomplishments or intrinsic values of what these things are going to be selling for, people are just burning, and it becomes an addiction.
Right.
And then what happens is I watch it. I've seen 1 cent, 2 cent tokens on the east side, where it's like, hey, we can now start doing a little bit of burning. You could buy, a roll within the game, like you roll the dice, or you could, get a free pass to something in the game, and they implement it. All of a sudden, that 1 cent token runs to 60, 70, 80 cents, 90 cents, $1.
Sure.
And the shortage of supply just becomes extreme. People are freaking out. Oh my gosh, I never this is insane. And it can be very sustainable if obviously you apply some of the logic that we've got being applied here. So we're very excited about this, guys. This is a game changer. I can't say it again. Legacy Friends is the NFT series. You'll see it on OpenSea. Once we mint the alphas, they'll be on OpenSea. There will be a secondary market for them to be bought and sold. There will be a lot of reasons why once we start pushing the marketing, the big blitz for 2 weeks prior to Genesis, you're going to see a lot of new faces in the room. There will be its own dedicated Discord. A lot of the Legacy Friend holders at that point are going to be alpha holders in there talking to these new people.
They are.
And it's going to be a lot of fun. It's going to be exciting. You're going to be able to bring all the tokens to the party.
That's right.
Right?
One big family.
This is an ecosystem party that may live inside of Metatopia. Now, granted, other projects can join. This is not a only ecosystem-driven deal. We are going to collaborate with a lot of NFT projects. We are going to collaborate with new people that want to launch an NFT project on Moonforce's NFT Launchpad. What do you think Mince is doing? Mince is going to be the next level of podcast around driving information through developers, graphic designers, artists within the space. We're going to bring them on this journey. They're going to come into our ecosystem. Maybe they've got a project that they're going to drop and they want to be able to have that on the roadmap. We're going to have the ability to work with the right people. We'll certify them, make sure they're legit. And once we've secured and safety and all that is been accounted for, we're going to do some really cool stuff together. So very excited about where we're going. Do you guys have anything more that you want to touch on today before we wrap this one up and we get ready for Roadmap, Legacy Friends Roadmap next week?
Nope, I got a lot to do. We're excited to get going.
Very excited.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Eric?
Yep. No, we're working hard, and it's all coming together.
It is coming together. Graphics, I think we'll start doing some previews. Any way we can maybe give them a little preview, start previewing some of the alpha NFTs as early as tomorrow?
Yeah, we can start pushing some of those on socials. Yeah.
And drop them in different groups and stuff.
Yeah, and we also have some information coming out to make sure you know the exact dates of the snapshots to see if you qualify for the alpha NFT.
Awesome.
Yeah.
So look forward to some previews, maybe as early as tomorrow, into the weekend. I know June 1st is next Wednesday.
Tuesday.
No, Tuesday's the 31st.
Oh, is it?
I
Okay.
think it's
Yeah,
next Wednesday. Yeah, it's next Wednesday. So look forward to next Wednesday. Symbol, that's you. Obviously, you're first and foremost. Then secondly, the Friday after that is going to be our minis. So our little minis are going to get to go alpha style.
Those minis.
So get ready. They are coming. We will share some previews. We'll do a little preview of the alpha bulls, the alpha minis, with probably alpha chefs. And then I think probably preview the Moonforce badges right after that. So thank you, everybody. We look forward to this working together and working with our community. This is a huge catalyst, huge win for us, and look forward to all new people coming in and driving the attention into the projects for the future. Thank you, everybody, and we'll see you soon. Have a good one.